If you feel stuck in your language learning and it seems to be going nowhere, one piece of the puzzle is to know who you're learning with. To an unprofessional, it seems all the same, but it's not. And with this list, you'll recognize who you're currently learning with. Number 1, the boutique school. Small and hard to find. Typically a university graduate who says, okay, let's get real here. Let's figure out a way to teach that's much better than the big brands. These teachers are usually in constant evolution, ambitious, driven, though there's a huge distrust in them precisely because by the time you find one, you've been through 3 or 4 bad experiences and your appreciation of language learning has been sadly warped. Why would the boutique school work for you when your past experiences haven't? The absolute best, alas, unseen. Number 2, the legacy brands. They've been here forever. They have a very specific place in the industry. They are quite literally untouchable. It's your local college, Alliance Française, a British Council, Goethe Institute. People trust them regardless. They could be clubbing baby seals alive. People would still buy their stuff because they're so well established. And a lot of people genuinely believe that these brands have figured out some magical recipe that the rest of the teaching world doesn't know. They're in second place because at the very least they're not selling cheap party tricks and that their teaching rests on real pedagogy, standardized proficiency targets and structured progression. Usually bureaucratic, painfully slow, though they do at least sell a decent product. The downside is the human factor, because even though something like Alliance Française is a brand, it's still comprised of humans who all contribute to making the experience different each time. Whether you learn in 2026 in Houston or in Lisbon, it will be quite different. Number 3, the solo tutor, the guy who works for a language school or tutors at Preply or italki. Can be quite effective, but the downside is a complete lack of standardization, so you're entirely at the mercy of whether that specific individual has an actual methodology or is just winging it based on native intuition. Number 4, the deflated local language school, Well, the Deflated language school, we've all worked there. Small local language school, local courses. They sell you a nice friendly atmosphere. The goal here is to sustain the clientele and make it a low stakes fun activity. Great for hobbyists or for people who have unlimited funds to spend the next 10 years in a classroom learning marathon. Number 5, the committed miracle learner. Typically a person who builds a brand around themselves, who has a sort of epiphany. A person who was just like you and me, just an ordinary person, couldn't learn the language in school and had a breakthrough. It's a common narrative. Doesn't normally come from teaching and has no formal background in languages, which is no accident, since it's the central quality of that brand. So here we have fluent in 3 months, Ollie Richards, Steve Lin Q, Alexander Arguelles fits this model to a degree, Luca Lampariello, and many more. So they monetize the myth that anyone can replicate their unstructured journey without proper pedagogical frameworks. Number 6, the anonymous app. Developed by whoever, very often vocabulary drills. They're not evil. Spaced repetition has a minor utility for raw lexical acquisition, but they treat language as a massive database of isolated stickers rather than a coherent generative system of rules. Number 7, the Tutor Mills. Preply, italki and all that. They'll allow random people to open accounts on their website and they take a cut of the transaction. Typical pyramid model, the money goes up. The owners are of course website designers. You get conversational exposure, but rarely systematic progress. Number 8, the world takeover language providers. Mango, Rosetta Stone, Pimsleur, Boozoo, Transparent Languages. Corporate entities run by spreadsheet managers offering 40 different languages with identical shallow interfaces. They rely on the illusion of choice and glossy marketing to convince beginners that a massive catalogue of languages equals a rigorous methodology. Number 9. The gamified language solutions, Duolingo and all its clones. They have perfected the art of keeping users addicted to learning streaks while teaching almost nothing of practical linguistic value. A dopamine-driven translation game full of bizarre disconnected sentences that leave learners completely paralysed the moment they have to speak. Number 10, the Joker Miracle Expert. We saw the Serious Miracle Expert, now it's the Joker Miracle Expert. The street interviewer who shocks people by speaking their language in the street with no preparation. A series of cheap viral pranks destined to sell merchandise or low-tier courses to gullible spectators. Number 11, the language blogger who can be a YouTuber also, typically an affiliate marketer, posing as an objective reviewer. The entire business model is writing top 10 best apps lists engineered for search engine optimization to funnel unsuspecting learners towards whichever software pays the highest commission. Zero educational value, pure conflict of interest, ridiculous language stunts also, drivel, anything that gets YouTube's attention. And number 12, the testing center, the absolute bottom of the industry, absolute sharks, the testing center, a predatory, monopolistic toll booth on human mobility and academic credentialing. Their entire structural incentive is to find technicalities to fail you so you can enroll and pay hundreds more dollars for another slot at the exam. The absolute dirtiest in the language industry, and that was my list of the 12 different language providers. My name is Chris from We Communicate.